In fact, in Pakistan, if you look that we have a downstream industry, a well-established downstream industry, but we are lacking midstream a lot, and then the upstream, which does not exist in Pakistan. So for last about 10 years, since our chemical association was formed, one of the uh, PCMA, this is our association which is representing chemical sector in Pakistan. So for last about 10 years, we are sensitizing the importance of NAPHTHA cracker or a cracker, gas cracker, whatever you say, with the government for last 10 years. But unfortunately, due to the size of the investment, which is about $10 billion plus, so this could not get through. So in the last 3-4 years, since this government came into power, and we were talking to the CPEC authority as well to put this project in the CPEC, because it's a very big project and it's not possible for any single investor in Pakistan to invest in this. And our banking infrastructure is not as such that they can fund it. So we wanted this project to get through in either of the funds. But NAPHTHA cracker or any cracker for that matter, cracker means that it is a plant which cracks the, either you take crude oil or you take naphtha or you take gas or you take coal. So anything you take, it cracks it and it makes the fractions of it become the basic chemicals for the industry. So the entire chain of chemicals, they come from the cracker. So that's the significance. In Pakistan, we don't have this cracker. What we do that we import all the basic chemicals from the neighboring countries, from Far East, from Middle East. These are the major people supplying the basic chemical to the country. As a result, what happens that nothing is in our control. Everything is being controlled by them. So the industry there, they have the crude or whatever the base stock is. They have the cracker. They are producing the complete chain of basic chemical. Then they have a very well established midstream as well as downstream. So they can manipulate the prices as per their requirement. They want to sell the entire chain. Whether if they have to utilize the full capacity of cracker, for that matter they can sell the basic chemicals, midstream chemicals, all the end products. So for Pakistan, since we don't have this basic investment in Pakistan, so we are importing the basic chemicals, and as a result, no big development has been made in the midstream and downstream. This is Dalmia. I tell you, in India has 9 crackers, not one. And Singapore, I think Singapore also has many, not one. A small country, you know the size of the country, and they are the mother of all the chemicals. Every chemical coming from there. So the investment always comes today we are sitting in a situation where the country is cash tight. We don't have dollars, we have nothing. So generating $10 billion for this project for any company or a group of companies or an association is a big challenge. So in the past, yes, this was possible. But what happens that Zavia analyze karne ka, that has always been different. You know, you don't have an industry, you don't have the demand. You put up industry, demand automatically generates. This is the philosophy. You don't have industry, demand is very generic. Somebody, like you put up industry, then there's a downstream, one downstream, second downstream, third downstream. At the end, you produce a lot of products, and that is being used by the consumer at the end. If you don't have the industry, those things are imported in different shape from different countries. What government was saying in the past, that whenever this project was put up in front of the government, they said that there is not enough demand in the country to justify a cracker. And this thing they are telling for last 30-40 years. Okay, if they have taken a decision 30-40 years ago, the demand would have been generated immediately. You put up the plant, any plant today, I guarantee you, very next in 2-3-4 years time, the downstream will establish and the demand will generate automatically. You have to bear that thing for 1-2-3 years maximum. So this was the philosophy behind not getting into this thing. This is the foresight basically. What we want is that we want to invest today and get the result from tomorrow. But if I have to wait for 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month, nobody wants to do that. That was the only issue, not getting into this investment in the past. Yes, very much. This is very much possible. Little bit support of government. Basically, if government is serious on this project, they can make part of CPEC as well. some investment by Chinese, some investment by the government of Pakistan, and we as an industry are always here to be part of this project. Basically, what happened that when we like in fact we have at this stage we determined that this is not possible. Putting investment of $10 billion on NAPHTHA cracker. So what we are coming up is that we want to put up the midstream industry in the first go, which is the government philosophy. The government philosophy is that first have the demand and then we will consider any sort of investment on the upstream. So this policy which we are talking today is about establishing a midstream industry in Pakistan. When midstream industry is established, it means the demand of the products will be produced by the cracker will be there. So then you can justify, it will be an easy case for the government. That's what the philosophy is. If you have seen the presentation here, so there are a number of products which we have identified, at least 5-6 major products, where we can make initially $4 billion investment, and that is already committed by the industry here. Only 4-5 big players, they have pledged to invest $4 billion in this complex if the government approves this policy. And that will be in 5 or 6 products like PET, PVC, lab, and 1 or 2 more. We want it on a yesterday basis because everybody is ready. And Angro alone has invested $35 million on the feasibility. They have already spent. So they are in dire urgency of getting this policy to be released so that they can, they are going to make an investment of about $1 billion plus alone on this midstream. So that how important this policy is, it depends on the government, how quickly they can come up with the solution. There are only 2-3 things which we want from the government. The most important is the tariff protection. You know, without tariff protection, no industry can survive in Pakistan, because once who come into petrochemical business industry, so your competition in the Middle East and all these countries will definitely hurt you. Their product which is coming to Pakistan will stop, and they will definitely react, and they will cut down on their prices. So we need a sure shot minimum tariff protection based on the cascading formula the government already has in place. But the only issue is that with change of government, with change of heads of the departments, the policy changes. Secondly, when the user of the product is downstream industry, and in downstream industry, the number of industries are more rather than the number of industries in upstream industry. So when the number of producers are more, they have very strong unions, associations. So if you are the president of Pakistan, or prime minister of Pakistan, so I am a person who has only one industry in the country, which is investment of $4 billion dollars, and as against me, there are 400 or 500 consumers with total investment of few $100 million. So since they will be much more in number, their lobby will lobby more, and you will eventually may take a decision against me, because you will not see one company, you will see 500 people sitting in front of you. So they don't want the duty on their raw materials. My finished product will be their raw material. They would definitely want the raw material to be eliminated. So in order to avoid that risk, we need to have a firm policy in place so that I as an investor know that for next 5 years or 10 years, what will be the duty on my product. So I can plan my production, my investment, my strategy accordingly. This is the one part. Second part is that in chemical business, the turnover is much higher as compared to profitability. Like your profit percentage to sale is much lower as compared to a small industry. So it is always a very high scale turnover company with very, very small bottom line. So if you compare the bottom line with sales, it is like maybe 1%, 2%, 3%, maximum 5%. So there is a turnover tax of 1.5% if the company is in loss, or the profit is less, and the 33% tax is less in number, and 1.5% of sale is high as compared to normal corporate tax, then you have to pay that minimum tax to the government. Our second demand is that 1.5% turnover tax should be eliminated for the petrochemical industry. Otherwise, this will kill the concept. So this is the second point. And thirdly, we just want concession that they should, if possible, some concessional loans should be granted for this mega project, and consistency in policy is the main issue.